Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the NWP call this evening. My name is Rich Simmonds. And before we go any further, I just want to read this disclaimer to you. The information I share should not be considered as financial advice. We share information about what we do ourselves. Please be sure you understand what you're putting your money into. If you're unsure about something, please ask. And remember, historical results are no promise of what will happen in the future. So NWP has solutions for everyone, whether you're an opportunity seeker or investor. NWP's got something for you. The vision of NWP is to be the most trusted global platform for responsible income growth. And the mission is to empower individuals worldwide to unlock and grow their financial potential through innovative tools and effective strategies. The core values of NWP: transparency, innovation, community, responsibility, freedom, and service. What's in it for you? Well, NWP has a trading platform designed to manage investments on your behalf, targeting weekly income for its members. Most important is that you retain the flexibilities to withdraw your funds should you require them, much like a savings account. The capital is always in your control. NWP manages your investments on a weekly basis. The money stays, it's held by independent brokers, and no more than 30% of your capital will actually be used on the forex markets to generate weekly returns. You retain the control, and you don't want your capital there anymore. You just initiate a withdrawal. The first time you withdraw your capital, that'll be free of charge, and then after that, when you withdraw capital, it'll be a 2% charge, will be a levy to your withdrawal there. NWP offers various asset portfolios, starting with the foundation portfolios, where you can invest as little as $10 up to $9,999. And what they look for here is a monthly target. So the monthly target that they look for and the traders are going for is between 5 to 10%. These profits, however, are paid to you on a weekly basis. So you don't have to wait the whole month to get your 5 or 10%, whatever the target is for that. You will get that on a weekly basis, and that's paid out to you. As I mentioned, you can invest anything from $10 up. The biggest portfolio that you can open within the foundation range is $5,000. So if you wanted to put in, let's say, $9,000, you would open one of $5,000 and one of $4,000 to give you the $9,000. Then moving up in the portfolios, just to mention there, you will see every time you open a portfolio, it will actually show you, this is a snapshot from the profit reward section on a weekly basis. So this would have been last week, where the week before last rather, where you got 1.28%. And each portfolio will show you how much you earn. In your back office, all your portfolios are also listed, and the income or the profit there is showing you the profit that that portfolio has earned to date. When you've got these different portfolios, you don't have to worry. All the profits go into one single checkout wallet. So no matter how many portfolios you have, the withdrawal of your profits will be all in one wallet. It's not a separate withdrawal. So it's all together when you make the withdrawal. Then there's the growth portfolios. That's where you've invested anything more than $10,000 plus. And here the target goes from 8 to 12% on a monthly basis. Again, profits are paid to you on a weekly basis. So if you are growing your foundation portfolio currently, as soon as you get to the 10,000 for all your portfolios together, when they're all added together, if it's more than 10,000, you will automatically go into the growth portfolios, and you will start earning the higher percentage. Then there's the elite portfolios for 50,000 plus invested, and here the target is between 10 to 15% on a monthly basis. How have we done so far? Well, this last week was a very good week. We earned 2.06% on the foundation and the growth portfolios. And you'll notice there that the percentage average over the last 4 weeks On the foundation portfolios was 6.34, so it was higher than the expected target. And then on the growth portfolios, it was slightly less than the expected target for the last 4 weeks. However, the traders will still work towards the 8% for the month, and you'll probably find that if you look at the 4 weeks in the next week or two, you'll probably see that it's again gained up to the 8% target. Right, so how it works is that you deposit your capital and then you invest, you open a portfolio, and that's how you start. Starting in how you deposit, you can either deposit in USDT, which is Tether, the ERC20, the Ethereum network, or the Binance network, or Polygon USDT on the Polygon network. Once your portfolio is there and your investments in, generation of profit takes place from a Monday to Friday. That's when the traders do the trading. And just to mention, as long as you've got your money in by midnight on a Tuesday, so that's tonight, midnight UK time, you will receive profits for the week. So if you had your money in and you were starting a portfolio today, on that portfolio you would still get profits this coming Saturday. So those weekly profits that you get on a Saturday are then separated from the capital and sent, all the profits are separated from the capital and sent to a payment gateway on a Saturday. These profits are sent in USDT Polygon to the payment gateway, and they'll remain there until such time as you withdraw them. So they're not together with the capital, they're separated and they're waiting there. They're doing nothing basically, just waiting for you to make a withdrawal. So that instant withdrawal that you're able to make, as long as you've got a minimum of $5, you can withdraw your profits instantly, and that'll go to your private crypto wallet. The withdrawal fee on those is 5%. So if you did have $5, 5% of $5 is 25 cents. Therefore, you will receive $4.75 in your crypto wallet. Your strategy depends now on, and you'll hear me talk about just in a moment about exchanges and crypto wallets. So if you're looking at your different strategy, if your strategy was to get weekly cash for yourself, well, then it would be different from someone who's wanting to save and reinvest. And what by I mean that is, when using a crypto exchange, that's when you want actual physical fiat currency back in your bank or in your credit card or your debit card, wherever you spend your money. So that's how you would do it to get it. You'd have a crypto exchange to do that. However, if you were simply wanting to reinvest or compound or capitalize or whatever you call it, you would then use a crypto wallet. Now, the reason why I say this is if you're using a crypto exchange, the fees are generally high. There's also a lot of questions lately about when you move money through crypto exchanges. So if you were just simply moving it back and forth, you'd have to answer those questions all the time. When I talk about crypto exchanges, here we're talking about Binance, Valar, Luno, Kraken, Coinbase, those type of things. That's what is known as a crypto exchange or regulated crypto exchange. When we talk about wallets, we're talking about a private crypto wallet here. And the reason why you would use a private crypto wallet is, firstly, it's yours. You don't have to answer any questions or about the movement of your money because it's coming basically from your investment to your wallet. And then if you were sending it to an exchange from your wallet, that's when you'd have to answer the questions. Otherwise, it's a simple movement. And one of the main reasons for using your private crypto wallet is that the fees are very low. And when we talk about private crypto wallets, we're talking about SafePal, Token Pocket, MetaMask, Exodus, and the likes, where you would simply, in this case, you would be getting your Polygon USDT, and then in your wallet, you would then either send it back to wherever you needed it, or you would exchange it for a cryptocurrency that you needed. So you might be getting your Polygon USDT and swapping it for another Tether or one of the BEP20 protocols, whatever you needed. And just to give you an example of a fee on the SafeBell exchange, most of them are similar. I did notice, however, on the weekend that Exodus, for instance, doesn't give you the option to go for a low or middle charge. They simply charge you the higher one. So that's one of the reasons why I suggest SafeBell. It just gives you different options on the gas fee. And the gas fees are very nominal. It's like less than 1 cent, but you can see there are slight differences. So, you would be saving yourself a little bit if you did go for a low one, which is a slower fee, but a slower processing time. These are all from your own wallet and, moving money from your wallet back to wherever you need it, for instance. If you were exchanging, just to give you an example, and I've just used an example here where, a normal Tether purchase would be on the Ethereum network. The fees are rather high on Ethereum. So you might want to look at something where on your exchange, you might not be able to buy Polygon USDT, but you normally can buy Polygon. You would then buy your Polygon on your exchange, send it to your SafeBell wallet, and in your SafeBell wallet, swap it for Polygon USDT, and then you would be able to send it to NWP from there. That just gives you an idea of the reason why you might want to use your private wallet for this as opposed to buying Tether on an exchange. It could work out a little bit cheaper, and you'd also find that when you're using Polygon, and you will be using Polygon to make your withdrawals, you will need gas fees. You won't need a lot of gas fees, but if you were doing that swap, you could simply leave a little bit of Polygon USDT back for your gas fees. As I showed you earlier, the gas fee is less than 1 cent. So in other words, if you had $1, you could probably do about 100 transactions. However, if your exchange gives you gas fees, they're going to probably try to sell you about $5 worth of gas fees, which is probably in the region of about 300 to 400 transactions that you're going to have with gas fee. So that's going to take probably 3 years for you to spend that type of gas. It's just easier to do a swap and have a little bit of gas fee left over. And here's an example of what you would do. You would simply leave a little bit of POL back for gas fee. And a swap will take a little bit of time. So just do remember that if you are swapping in your private crypto wallet. The reason why we talk about these things is that in the NWP, there's no auto reinvestment. Now, that's the reason why that's there is to be completely transparent so that you know that the system is working on a weekly basis and that everyone's getting their profits. If you wanted to reinvest, you'd have to take it out of the system through the payment gateway, back into your SafeBell wallet or your private crypto wallet, and then send it back to NWP. The fees, as I mentioned, you can see there an example. You would always pay 5% for your withdrawal of your profits. However, the fee to send from SafeBell back to NWP would cost you less than 1 cent. All right, so when you're ready to start, there is a little booklet that I've put together. Just please ask for this if you haven't got one, and we can get it to you. NWP offers chat support, and that's the girls are in Canada, so you're probably wondering what that +1 number is. That is where they're based with the chat support. Very helpful, and it's very quick. Obviously, depending on time zone, but you can probably expect a reply within half an hour to an hour max. Now, let's talk about some extra income and how you can make yourself some extra income with NWP, should that be your goal. This is the Tuesday meeting, so we talk about this in the Tuesday meeting. On a Thursday, we go in just a very short presentation. So this is the Tuesday meeting, the longer presentation, where we look at the affiliate plan and we expand on things a little bit more. You would have noticed in your back office, and if you're not a member yet, when you link up, you will get your referral link from the person who shared with you. when you've got your back office open, you'll see that there's a left link and a right link for your referrals. You can choose whether you want to put them in your left or your right-hand side, and this is how you can earn some extra money. This is not a networking business, this is affiliate networking, and there's a difference because this is where you build a sustainable weekly income for yourself through the power of networking. It's not where you get upfront bonuses. The bonuses here are you building up a weekly income. So I just want to make that very clear from the start. So it's an affiliate bonus more than it is a networking bonus. The profits drive these bonuses. So in other words, you've referred someone, they've joined the system. If they're earning a profit on a weekly basis, then you can earn, being the person that referred them, you can earn a bonus. If they don't get any profits that week, there won't be any bonuses for you either because they're all linked. How this works is, I took an example here of one of the weeks where we earned 1.56%. And what happens there, when you see a result of 1.56% for the week, what actually happened was that the actual profit made was 3.12. Half of that profit goes to the investor for his profit, that's the 1.56% that the investor gets, and the other 50%, the other 1.56% goes to what we call the business volume. That is where the profits and the bonuses for the affiliate system come from. Right, so if we look at the foundation portfolio statistics so far, 36 weeks, and what actually happened was 76.39% was earned by the investor, and on the other side, 76.39% was earned by the business or the bonuses. So in other words, paid out since the 26th of October last year has been 152% from the system. If you were wondering, is the system going to last? Well, if the system wasn't going to last, it should have failed about 2 or 3 months ago already. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to pay out 152% of the invested amount. Right, so this business volume, the business volume, as you would have seen, is equal to the investment profits for the week. Therefore, that if this was your first week in your system and when you look at your back office, you see a business volume. Whatever you see on the left was the total profit for the week, if this was your first week. If you've seen it more than that, or if you've been in the system for more weeks, it'll be your total profit earned on that side of your business, and on the right, so the left or the right-hand side of the business. When you see the business volume, it's actually equal to $1. So if you see $17, it means that the total team on the left earned $17 in profits since they started, or since you started, it was showing your team, and on the right was $11.38. As I mentioned, it'll increase on a weekly basis, but this is how it's worked out. So if there was a total deposit of $1,090 that week, and remember that this is an example of the first week, 1.56% of $1,090 is $17, so that's where the business volume comes from. And then on the right-hand side, the same sort of thing, $11.38 would come from $730. Remember, this is for 1 week. What will happen the next week, there'll be a profit, and then in your back office, you'll actually see that would have been the first week, then the second week. What you're seeing in your back office when you look at your business volume is the total earned on the right so far and the total earned on the left so far. And this becomes significant when we look at the rewards a little bit later. So what are the earnings that you can actually make from these bonuses? Well, firstly, there's direct referral bonus. And this means that when you have got a referral, you've referred someone into the system, they've made an investment, you will earn 10% of whatever they earn on a weekly basis. So if they earned $1, you'd earn 10 cents. If they earned $10, you'd earn $1. If they earned $1,000, you'd earn $100. Whatever 10% of their profit is for that week. The binary qualification, once you've got invested volume on the left and right hand side of your business, you will then start earning the binary on a weekly basis. One thing to remember here is you personally do not need an investment to earn either from the referral bonus that I've just mentioned or to earn the binary bonus. As long as you've got volume in your left-hand side and your right-hand side of the business, you will earn. And the bigger your team is, the more you will earn, or the bigger the invested volume is. So let me give you two examples here. This is where you've got a sponsor. They put you in, and in this case, they've put you in on the left leg, their left leg. You will put someone in on the right side and the left side. This way, you would have got qualified for the binary because there's volume on your left or your right. However, in the NWP system, the system does not look if it was your referral or not. It doesn't matter. However, if this was the case on the right-hand side, remember that you can only put people either in on the left or the right. So your sponsor can put other people in underneath you on the left. If he puts someone in on the right, for instance, it's not coming under you. However, you can only put someone in on the left or the right. You could put someone in on the left here, but you don't need anyone on the left because he's put people in. So in other words, you've added people, and now because you've added two people, one of them made an investment, you are then qualified for the binary because you've got volume on your right-hand side and you've got volume on the left-hand side here because of that spillover, as we call it. The binary bonus that you will earn, whatever the business volume is on the left, whatever the business volume is on the right. So that means that you will earn 15% of this week's business volume from your lesser leg. Not the total volume that you see, just the business volume for this week. And that you'll be able to see in your binary bonus calculation in your back office. In the menu on the left, it says binary commission. You go in there, it'll show you the business volume for the week. It'll show you what you earned on the binary and how your 15% was made up for that week. Just to give you an example of a binary is actually an equal side left to right. But what if your sides aren't equal? You get paid on the lesser side. So in other words, in this case, you get paid on 480.25. The difference of 215.26 is then carried forward should you have a flip-flop effect. So that's how your binary is worked out. You get paid on the lesser leg, but you're getting paid on both sides. It's just that you get paid on the lesser leg. The side that you got extra on will be carried over. An example of a bonus, and I'm just here to sort of like give you an idea of how much you could possibly earn in the future. For every $100 you've got in your lesser leg, and that's assuming that there's $100 on your other leg already, your lesser leg is generally starting off to be your referral. So if you had one referral and you had one spillover, you would effectively have $100 invested. If the weekly profit was, let's say, 1.34%, which is basically the average that it has been over the last 17 or 18 weeks now, that's your average profit for the week, you would then, this person who put in $100 would be earning $1.34. You would earn 10% of what he earned. He's earned $1.34, you're going to earn 13 cents. Now you've got a binary. The binary is going to pay you 15% of 130 or 1.34, and that's 20 cents. So you could say for every $100 in your lesser leg, on an average week, you would make 33 cents. As your team grows bigger, and you can see on a weekly basis, you would accumulate points, more people would be joining, they'd be adding, even if it's slightly, every little bit helps, and your income on a weekly basis would incrementally go up. Remember, it never stops. As long as they've got money in the system, you will earn your referral bonus on a weekly basis. So it's a nice way of building up your residual income and a a nice plan for yourself for extra income on a weekly basis, and it's reoccurring. That's the nice thing about it. It's not like other networks where you simply get a once-off bonus. Here, if that person's going to be a lifelong customer, you're going to earn lifelong as well. And for every person and all the volume in these examples, it's a reoccurring income for you. Right, a matching bonus. This is the third bonus that's available. Very simply here, it's a small extra bonus. Once you've got people that you've referred that start earning the binary, you will earn 2% of whatever they earn for your referrals, and then your referrals, and their referrals on level 2 and 3, you would earn 4%. Withdrawal fees are applicable to the bonuses as well. So you pay, on your profits, you're paying a 5% fee to make a withdrawal. The same with your bonuses. These are the only fees charged by the NWP system. There's no yearly fees, there's no subscriptions, there's no trader fees, there's nothing like that. Whatever you earned, 5% will be charged on your withdrawal. And that's as simple as it gets. The system is sustainable, as I mentioned, because if your person's making a profit, you're able to make a bonus, and all profits go out on a weekly basis. There's no internal rotation in the system. It just gives you more peace of mind to know that the system is sustainable and it's working. So you don't have to check with people on a weekly basis, oh, did you make a withdrawal or anything like that? No, you'll be making a withdrawal yourself. Or if you didn't do it this week, you might do it next week as you've accumulated $5 or whatever, and you'll know that the system is healthy and working. And as you grow and your funds grow and your teams grow, you'll see your withdrawals become more regular. Thus, you'll be able to check the system yourself. The affiliate plans are, remember, they're not subject to your investment. You don't need an investment yourself to be able to earn from the bonuses that I've discussed. You don't have to motivate people either, because people are motivated themselves by their weekly results and the trading results that they see, and it's simple, which means easy duplication. So once people are happy, and it might be a little bit slower than we all like, but when people are happy, they then invest and they tell their friends, and the system duplicates itself. Is this passive income? Well, yes, in my book, this is passive income because it's little or no ongoing effort. Once you've introduced a person into the system and he's happy, and well, it'll be passive income for you. As long as they keep their money in the system, you will be earning passively from them. What do we do next? Well, wait it out, get your people, let them experience the system, and once they start to experience the system, your earnings will grow and you'll be entitled to career rewards. Now, the career rewards are just a nice cherry on the top of your earnings. Once you've earned a total of $100 from the binary, you would need a self-deposit of $30. You don't need it right up to start. If you don't have a deposit yourself at the moment, it doesn't matter. When you get up in the binary earnings, you can put a self-deposit in for yourself. If you've got the booster already, you've got the self-deposit. Just remember that if you were only withdrawing the profits on the boosters and not reinvesting, you would need probably to reinvest so that you have always got a self-deposit of at least $30. So that when the time comes, you can get your reward. So these rewards work up eventually to the point where you've earned $25,000 on the binary. The nice thing about the NWP system is there's no time limit. So if you can earn this $25,000 in 6 months, or if it takes you 10 years, doesn't matter, you will still get your Rolex watch at the end of the day. And how this works, you'll see there that from the team builder level on, there's what they call claim or move on. So you can hold your fee that you've earned, the $2,500, and you can then redeem that for a tablet. If you don't want a tablet, you can then simply bank the $2,500 and move on, and you would already have $2,500 towards the next reward, which is the 3-night international trip or an iPhone. And then that's simply how the career rewards work. Like I said, there's no limit on time for them. These are the ambassador awards, bigger than the other rewards, but basically you've now got a team, and you can look at it there and say, well, the qualification for group ambassadors, 3 Rolex watches on the left, 3 Rolex watches on the right. Those are the people in your teams that have earned that. Once this happens, you can get the rewards. That's a little bit down the line. If you've got any questions, we can talk about that. But that is my presentation for this evening. Quite simple, a little bit longer than normal. So thanks very much, everyone, and do have a good evening further. And we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks very much. Good night.